Host Bill Noble. First of all, never doubt the benefit of Eagle King behind the scenes. Now, is Bitcoin going to go to 120? Is anyone talking about Bitcoin going to 120? Finally, somebody is, and they must watch the show. Now, today we have several innovations, least of which is the introduction of something that is truly unbelievable. Are you ready? In the YouTube member area, we have introduced Girl Bill. So not only do we have the member podcast where we tell you all kinds of stuff, but Girl Bill is now live in Studio A on the mic. And guess what? People are coming in with meme coins for Meme Coin Showdown. So not only can we give you shocking news about XRP and Bitcoin and Nvidia, but we can also handle your meme coins. So if you need help and a roadmap in crypto, stay with us because we're going to tell you things. We're going to hint at things about XRP. I'm going to show you some of the research and give you some of the picks from our new Patreon Platinum group. So macro, picks, Girl Bill in the member area. And today we're going to go over everything you need so that when you understand what I'm telling you today, you will know that Bitcoin is going up and we have a 6-month alt season and crypto-related equities, which again, the Eagle King has showed me how to access via Lunar Crush. We will be doing live TA on all of the Bitcoin treasury companies today. So we've always done the miners and we can do that, but we're going to look at the Bitcoin treasury companies because guess what? Guess what? All right. Those stocks are telling you that you are going to have an absolute rocket ship move to the upside. Okay. Now, before I do that, are we live on YouTube? Can you see us? Yes. Yes, we are live on YouTube, right? Okay, I'm assuming we are live on YouTube. You can hear us? Eagle King, are we good? Okay, I'm just going to keep going. We're going to start with the news. Okay, so we have a little bit of a problem going on in global bond markets. Japanese bond market melting down, interest rates flying higher because they can't take care of the inflation problem. Because if they do, they will blow up something called the yen carry trade, which will blow up the U.S. stock market. Okay. That is causing distress in our bond market because we spent $1 trillion a month, $1 trillion every 5 months. And I believe we have some tweets about what the Orange Man had to say about what they did to Brandon while he was in office. Effectively, our country was taken over and destroyed for 4 years. Now they have to fix it. They're trying to fix it, but the only real way to fix it is to buy Bitcoin. That's for them and you, believe it or not. Okay, Brad Garlinghouse tried to get a meeting with Cynthia Lummis. Cynthia Lummis wouldn't meet with him, I believe, because one of her siblings works for a Bitcoin payments company, which competes with Ripple. At which Brad says, we're an American crypto company looking to grow the crypto economy in the U.S. to the benefit of all Americans. I really have to wonder if this was Senator Lummis or someone on her staff making this decision. Okay, so the first thing you need to know, and then just ask, is why is Brad Garlinghouse meeting with someone at the White House or a senator? Why is that? What conversation are they having? I'll give you a hint. They may be talking about XRP for the strategic reserve. They may also be talking about the Ripple stable coins. The Ripple stable coins. You could have a situation with XRP. You know, these guys in XRP, because we did this in the Platinum group. I could have put it on YouTube because it's hyperbole, but I was like, you know what? This is Platinum research. And Toby confirmed it today, on Girl Bill. This shocking what can happen on the upside in XRP. Shocking. Okay. It would appear that Brandon or President Biden was sick the entire time he was in office. Okay. And the orange man is going to get after them for doing this. They did it to destroy the country. Okay. Like all the stuff. And the last sentence is key, right? All anyone has to do is look up President Biden's voting record to know that he could not have possibly wanted the things that happened. This is treasonous, and they're going after somebody. Now, what is the point of this? It means that if the orange man wants it, the orange man's going to get it, and he is back on offense after the the tariff mess, which in conjunction with Brad Garlinghouse having meetings at the White House means that they are queuing up something big in crypto. Former Biden medical advisor says he probably, in quotes, had cancer at the beginning of the presidency. So if they were giving him, I don't know, whatever they were giving him, radiation treatments, that would explain at least part of the reason why he looked so sick some of the time. Awful. Now, if that's true, that is a reason to buy Bitcoin. Hopefully the orange man gets after these people if that's what happens. But if this is what sovereigns can do, if they can steal a country for 4 years, the dollar should be lower. And Bitcoin is massively higher. Because you know what Bitcoin is doing today? Bitcoin at 107K, Bitcoin is decoupling from the bond market. I know we talked about this yesterday. There's a problem in the stock market. Bitcoin goes up. There's a problem in the bond market. Bitcoin goes down for like 2 days. And then boom, it's at 107K, strong like bull, and it's going to take Solana and all the Bitcoin treasury. Where do you see the chart of Metaplanet? Like, U.S. Senate unanimously passes no tax on tips. Okay, well, that's terrific. That's great. It is. It's great. Where was the relief for these people 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago? You realize what this crowd of people has been going through at the grocery store? Like, I'm glad they're finally getting some relief, but it's way overdue. And it's probably too late for a lot of car payments and a lot of credit card bills. So now, of course, the bond market's going to get hysterical because this is the beginning of major tax cuts. Now, the bond market can get over itself because if we borrow and spend so much money, we rip through our tax receipts in very short time frame. Okay, so there is some FUD about Cardano. You know, allegedly some sort of issue, and the headlines are beyond damaging. They will require months, if not years of work and millions of dollars to undo post-audit. If you participated in this sanity, I don't like you. You hurt people. Crypto has its own embedded self-destruct button. So if there's no problem here, why are we making up problems? Right? Why aren't we all on the same side? And this goes for Cynthia Lummis, right? Why aren't we all on the same side? We are looking into the one great, beautiful bill. If we don't get it, there could be a 68% tax increase because his former tax cuts, I'm assuming, could expire. Now, this is the largest one in history, and we need to decrease it because people are destroyed. And I think corporations may be like overtaxed as well. No, I mean, there's a reason why they're all going overseas. So get the tax incentives going to get them back in the country. And again, the fact that they even have this conversation is buy Bitcoin, period. Okay, now on that note, Congress has figured out that they need to buy treasuries. They need to have stablecoin companies. As many stablecoin companies, they need 100 tethers all over the world buying U.S. treasuries to make sure that the stablecoin, the digital stablecoin helps the dollar. More importantly, there is a bid for treasuries beyond the Fed. We went over this yesterday. I mean, look, it's all over the news, right? CNBC. Well, when has CNBC talked about stablecoins, right? Oh, my God. The great state of Texas one step closer to the Bitcoin reserve. The Texas legislature isn't as nice and friendly as you would think it is. You got a lot of bad characters in there, but we got to be the first state to do it. We got to do it. And we got to do it big. Bloomberg reporting on stable coins. Stable coins wind up in Bitcoin, right? If you proliferate stable coins, it's like what they did in 2017. And I say this all the time, but then the market's going to trade it. They're going to trade it in Bitcoin. They're going to trade it in XRP. They're going to trade it in Solana. And then they're going to open the meme coin casino up, which is what we do on Girl Bill. So we have like macro and all kinds of stuff. And we have coin picks, live coin picks, right, on the YouTube member podcast. But we go hog wild on anything you want on Girl Bill. You know, Girl Bill is going to be the biggest show we have. Watch. Don't call it a comeback. She's been here for years. Genius establishes America as the leader in digital assets. Yes, and we need somebody to buy Treasury. Here is the U.S. Senate doing something smart. Take a picture of that with your phone. You don't see it often, right? It's a huge step in digital currency as the foundation layer of internet financial systems. You know, it's always nice to see governments go, you know, we should do crypto. They would try to run crypto out of town for years. And Jamie Dimon stopped the first round of this, I think. And maybe Web 2 did as well, until Bessent called Congress or Powell called Congress. And they're like, yeah, there's no bid for our debt. So if you want to keep the sugar, right, if you'd like Fruit Loops for breakfast every morning without the nasty dye, thanks to RFKJ, if you want to eat your sugar 3 meals a day, you will give us stable coins. And then you will give us Bitcoin. You will. They're going to do it. Oh, Mike. Now that he's got the IPO done, he's got the shiny jacket on. It's so perfect, right? And then he starts talking about Bitcoin, the next leg up, targeting 130 to 150. So we know several things. One, Galaxy Digital is a hedge fund, and they're giga leverage long Bitcoin. Yes. Okay. And they're talking about a tactical target. And if you want to see, like I sat here, like we had Eagle King behind the scenes, and we had me kind of like, I don't know, over here doing like the old TJ routine from the BitBoy days. What she said about Bitcoin price action, I was like, oh my God. Mike's talking about like whatever he's talking about, and she's been talking about that way before everyone else, but she told you what happens after they do this, after it gets there. That's why Mike's wearing a shiny jacket, by the way. Just no tattoos. Okay. People see the trades, and I think it's some high-level stupid gambling. And yes, but it's backed by my own thesis, which is that Bitcoin is at the bottom of a channel, and it's about to launch itself higher. The good news about this is I didn't look into the TA specifically, but we have people now talking about tactical upside targets in Bitcoin. And then as soon as they do that, they will be talking about tactical upside targets in XRP and Solana. We will go over the charts. Like I said, the crypto equities, a lot of them are already breaking out, but they're still dramatically oversold. The biggest rally, I think, is going to be altcoins and the crypto stocks. Jamie said we are going to allow clients to buy Bitcoin, but we won't custody it. Right. We'll let Galaxy Digital and Coinbase custody it. That makes sense. So even though we're going to let you do Bitcoin, and I'm not even convinced they're going to do that, because again, you still can't buy the Bitcoin ETF at places like Bank of America, even though, you know, they put the headlines out to make themselves look cool. Meanwhile, back at the Orange Man family business, let's call it that, says crypto will blow banks away. And even if crypto doesn't blow banks away, banks will have a use, because banks will be a portal to DeFi. I know we don't want that, but it'll be stable coins. Then it'll be a crypto yield curve of some kind. Then you'll have DeFi. You'll be able to like go in and say, all right, I'll deposit my stable coins, and these guys will go out into Aave or wherever they go, or they'll go to AI agents, right? AI agents will just figure out where to put the money. I mean, we're writing all kinds of reports. This new platinum group in the Patreon where we have a GAN model, like we can't do enough AI DeFi. It's on fire, because there are going to be new layer ones that are going to be running these agents. Oh my God. Oh my God. We have Girl Bill and Patreon Platinum with like a GAN model. I did stuff today with a GAN model and a finance model at the same time. You need a roadmap in crypto? Oh my God. It's like I may never sleep again. Okay, so just in case you're getting too bullish, Kramer is in favor of Bitcoin as a hedge against excessive government borrowing, which is interesting because that's been going on for years, and it didn't get a word out of this guy when the equity market was high on the sugar that the government was handing out for the last 4 years. I feel sorry for Joe, and I have a prediction, even though what was going on there was a disaster, that I knew that as soon as he left office, he was going to lie down and basically go back to the sky. What went on there was terrible, and guys like this never said a word about it because it was up only in his market, and now it's going to be up only in our market because we're seeing how governments behave. And that just means buy Bitcoin, and then people are going to wake up and go, that means buy everything. I mean, we did 10 meme coins on Girl Bill today. It's unstoppable. People are already in. They're in. Good. London-based Avraxas Capital bought another 46,000 ETH. You know, folks, she's been talking about this DeFi RWA thing for a long time. They get that going along with Bitcoin and memes. Now, a public service announcement from our friends in equities. I thought Microsoft is adding Grok to its products, but I thought Microsoft was an AI company. Isn't it an AI company if you look at the equity market like handbook? Okay, so it's not. And you ready for this? It has a $3 trillion market cap. $3 trillion. Bitcoin's at $2 trillion. Everyone's like, oh, Bitcoin crosses $2 trillion in market cap. No, Bitcoin is way too cheap compared to Microsoft. You know why? Because ChatGPT one day is going to be able to write all of Microsoft's code. Code is no longer scarce. No longer scarce. It's like, oh, we need code? Let's just push this button. In everything except Bitcoin and MicroStrategy. So they bought Grok. They're going to put Grok in there. And some sort of digital asset is next. You know who needs stable coins? These guys do. Anybody who has like virtual world. Microsoft, I think, has got Activision. Correct me if I'm wrong. Forget about it, right? If Bitcoin is at 2 trillion and Microsoft is at 3 trillion, Bitcoin is going to leap Microsoft. $1.3 trillion asset manager Morgan Stanley CEO says buy the dip. Right. Because at 77, it was nuclear, but at 107, it's much more attractive. And I read some articles this morning about, you know, big hedge funds who pay their managers big money. You know, guys from my generation who have seen it all and done most of it, except those guys are on like the trading side. So they're like a whole other level. Yeah, they bought everything at the bottom. Remember Fear Greed, right? Fear Greed, right, was at, you know, 90 at Thanksgiving for Bitcoin. So that was a little high. Fear Greed was at 0 in equities for like 2 weeks. Nobody was bullish equities for 2 weeks, except these guys from Brevan Howard. Every hedge fund wind up down. They have tens of billions under management. The whole world was down and they were up 5%. And you're like, Bill, why are you telling me this story? Because you want to avoid groupthink. Right now, groupthink says altcoins can't rally. Right now, groupthink is like, oh my God, we have a problem with the bond market. And my answer is, no, we don't. And if you don't believe me, you need to listen to this show and the YouTube member podcast and drum roll Girl Bill and be in the YouTube platinum. I'm sorry, in the platinum area in Patreon, where we are just launching massive GAN research. A curriculum for MicroStrategy's degree in finance. So these are all the different instruments that MicroStrategy has issued to buy Bitcoin. And you know what? The street can't get enough. They're like, Mike, do you need to issue bonds or preferred stock? Do you know we do that here? And we collect big fees. Mike's like, no problem. Just give me my money so I can buy Bitcoin. And then people overseas or people everywhere, pension funds, whoever, who, you know, they don't just want to buy MicroStrategy stock. They like bonds, preferred stock, whatever. They're like, oh my God, I can get all this Bitcoin exposure by buying Mike's stuff. And frankly, if you did know everything about all these preferred stock and all this stuff, you would have a 3-credit course if you really understood it in finance. Mike is right about that. Glassnode. Accumulation is now visible across nearly the entire wallet spectrum in Bitcoin. What do you know? Even less than 1 BTC holders have flipped from distribution to light accumulation. Because at 77, it was nuclear, but at 107, I need to buy more. It's human nature. It looked horrible at the lows. I felt horrible at the lows. The member podcasts were keeping you straight and me straight. That's how bad it looked. That's why people were selling. But that's how you make real money, is by buying when it looks like it's going to zero. Bitcoin now equals 1 kilogram of gold. Gold has its place, and so does Bitcoin. And you know what? They're both going up massively because we need to desperately do a dollar devaluation, which no one is talking about. 14 states, $632 million in Bitcoin. MicroStrategy is winning the Triple Crown. First place this quarter, first place this year. We'll go over the Bitcoin treasury companies. Where do you see Metaplanet stock? Okay, so if we're going to do a Bitcoin video, thank God Mike is doing the Bitcoin video. This is really good. You know, Mike does these like 20-minute PowerPoint presentations or these like 20-minute or 40-minute lectures. This really shows how like legacy capital is falling apart and you want to own digital capital. And this, as far as I'm concerned, this is not just Bitcoin. It's the rails of Web3, AI, the internet. And Toby has brought up metaverse multiple times. Bank of America has Bitcoin on the books. Yeah, but you still can't buy it there. Okay. Bitcoin treasury companies. You know, because I messed up the stream, I actually had time to go back and look at some of these companies and just look at the TA. Like that's BTBT, and we've been talking about that for like a week. Look at this. Metaplanet, the Japanese MicroStrategy. How do you think this is working out? Like this in many ways is Gap and Go, right? This is Cantor Fitzgerald, right? The brokerage company that wants to get billions. Okay. You got all of these stocks blowing through their 200-day moving average. So again, I have not researched like what every single company is, right? But they're breaking out. All the cryptos are like, oh, the 200-day moving average. Oh, I got to wait. Now, these guys aren't waiting for anything, dude. This company, FRMO, at the 200-day moving average. Look at this price action. BTCS. Woo! Gap up above the 200-day. Come back down, retest the 200-day, get going again. This is everywhere. This is everywhere. Look at this. ATAI Life Sciences. So it breaks out, right? It's like, you know, what is the nature? Technical analysis is about understanding the nature of price action. It is. It's not whether you have a good model, although that helps. So you break out, you get the equilibrium, you wick down, right to LuxAlgo support, and then whoop. This is what everything is going to look like, right? Every single coin is going to look like this. Here we go. Satoshi Nakamoto just passed Nvidia CEO to become the 11th richest man in the world. Okay, I'm pretty sure Satoshi Nakamoto probably worked for an intelligence service. That's the only way they could keep something like that quiet for this amount of time. By the way, if you would like to know whether, like if you compared Nvidia with Buttocks Coin, who won and why, you know what you got to do. You know what you got to do, because yes, we did cover Buttocks Coin on Girl Bill, which is now in the YouTube member area. I rarely say these type of things, but if there was a reason to FOMO into that, it was that show today. And like I said, we covered everything. You know, we covered antivirus cup and handle, right? I'll give you a hint. She says the price target is 10 cents. So this whole idea that I had is go to a dime on a line is still available. Okay, so we looked at, we love peaches. Peaches hit the 62% retracement. And obviously we are talking about all kinds of stuff. We have FCK 9 to 5. We talked about all of this. So if you like meme coins, and you should, and I'm fully in agreement, then you should come join us. Meanwhile, back at the Bitcoin ranch, these guys have all these graphs, right? They have all this like Benjamin Cohen stuff. God bless them. Right now, Bitcoin's going around the 100,000 ring. Listen, Bitcoin is a form of money that can be used to lower the value of the dollar. So Michael Saylor wants it. Mike Novogratz wants it. Donald Trump and his like family syndicate want it. You want it. Want to do a tax cut? You can do a tax cut, or you can get Bitcoin like way up and have this ecosystem pumping like 2021. Like, you know, to me, it feels obvious, particularly when you look at the TA of these Bitcoin treasury companies. So all those companies weren't miners. That's just, you know, again, the Eagle King is telling me, you know, get on Lunar Crush. Everything is breaking out. You know what breaks out? The stuff no one owns. The scariest thing we own is not BTC. Make the most of the years you have. For many, that means buying it. For some, that means selling it. Pay your bills. If you're sleeping at night, you don't have enough risk. If you're not sleeping at night, you have too much risk. Make sure you take profits and pay your bills. But notice something. Why in God's name are we talking about selling when this hasn't started yet? I've seen this stuff before. Now, yes, you have to take profits. Yes, you have to pay your bills. Yes, you have to be intelligent when there's massive FOMO. But we don't have massive FOMO. If anything, we have everybody going, gee, do you think we should do this? I think we should do it. That's where we are. We're in like, hey, we should do this. Well, it's not even close. Texas Bitcoin Reserve Bill, LFG. The Haktua girl is going to get off for whatever she got in trouble for. She said she didn't know how crypto works. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter whether she's right or not. You know what this is? This is the go light on meme coins. It's not the go light on these terrible pump and dumps. They don't want that, obviously. But if they're letting her off the hook, as long as they're not stupid and we don't have to bring in law enforcement, well, you know, they probably do that since crypto has that like inherent kill switch. But, you know, if Peaches Coin is out there, if, you know, Attractive Moms is out there at 88 million when I looked at it. Wow. So meanwhile, back at the Gann Ranch, we have some timing research that has not been published yet. That is coming soon to the platinum area. It's so mind-boggling that each little paragraph could be a piece unto itself. So here's a little hint. STX, a Bitcoin layer 2, you want to buy all of that you can after eclipse volatility in September. So if the Bitcoin layer 2 is going to pump like crazy, what is Bitcoin going to be doing? You know, Girl Bill has been telling you for a while about what is going to happen later this year. Meanwhile, May is an accumulation month. Ondo, talked about that. Rail and A0. Well, we haven't talked about that. What's that? And we have PAAL and AI agents. I cannot get this thing off AI agents, especially for DeFi and stuff like that. So mind-blowing research available in the platinum area. And I'm happy to share some of it with you today because I know not everybody has the dough for this stuff. So I get it. So I'm going to help you because that's what we do on this show. We help people. Okay. The cost of college is absurd. Here's income. Here's tuition and fees. I got a lot of news for these guys. They're going to disappear with AI, and I'm not going to shed a tear. Okay, here's the bond market. Okay, this is not good. The 10-year note yield could go from 455 to 480. And you know what? I didn't think of this until just now. Do you think I'm the only guy that looks at this chart? When I worked at Goldman, I made like 300 LinkedIn friends. I don't broadcast on LinkedIn anymore, but I have like 300 friends that worked at the Fed. And I think the Fed and big hedge funds read my reports when I was at Goldman. And even if they don't, when you break out like this at the apex of a triangle, they do not, if the yield on the 10-year note goes up 25 basis points, that's going to be a very big problem for the orange man, for everybody. So you know what? They're going to buy government bonds until it doesn't happen. They're going to put money in the system. Why do you think Bitcoin is at 107? Why do you think Bitcoin and most of crypto strong like bull, even though, oh my God, the bond market's melting down? You should have seen the headlines on this morning. Bitcoin dominance. Okay, altcoins do well. Bitcoin dominance falls. Altcoins don't rally and Bitcoin does. So Bitcoin dominance gets back to resistance. And I think Bitcoin dominance is going to just plummet. Mainly, I think, because of Solana. STX, right? Look at this, right? Is at 280. Now it's at 83 cents, and no one wants to touch it. No one wants to touch any of these altcoins, right? The privacy. Look at this Ondo. Remember when Ondo was like, oh my God, Bitboy was like, oh my God, Ondo's going to, I don't know. Ondo's going to $10. Look at this thing at the bottom of the channel. And they're selling every rally. Like, see these wicks? They're selling every rally. So when they're done selling the rallies and everyone's out and done selling, who's going to sell when BlackRock comes in and there's some kind of an announcement? And the answer is nobody. Like, remember how we had the thing with Bitcoin? Like, oh, everybody who sold at 80 is paying 107 to get back in. This is not different. That's not different at all. At all. Right? And this GAN model that, again, is in this, YouTube platinum area, is helping me find stuff. I don't think I would have looked at, Aleph Zero, A0. I wouldn't have looked at that. This is like a privacy layer for Web3. I'm like, wow, that's interesting, right? I mean, it's like, we have that going on. Oh, yeah. And then there was RailG, private and anonymous DeFi, 228,000 followers. I think we showed this. It has it's like, I don't know, 700 market cap. This is everywhere. It's everywhere, right? Like, when are we going to jump on this? Okay, Solana. So Solana has this LuxAlgo triangle formation, right? Maybe I can just let you look at it LuxAlgo style. So we're kind of near the apex, and we're on top of the 200-day moving average. And the equilibrium in Solana is at 193, and the premium zone on Solana, I believe, is at 280, something like that. Yeah. So the high from the Orange Man fund zone was 295. Why is Solana down again? Why is it down? I don't know why it's down. Why won't Solana move? I don't know. Maybe because, maybe the meme coin casino trading is not free. I don't know. But what happens is that if they sort that out, or there's a story that's going to sort out Solana inflation. Why is Solana down? Can anyone answer that question? I don't think so. I really don't think anyone can answer the question of why is Solana down. And, you know, when you have Bitcoin, like this is one of the reasons why, you know, Bitcoin can go up, but the rallies in the Bitcoin stocks can be much bigger because Bitcoin is already at its premium zone. So can Bitcoin go to 120? Of course it can. But can the Bitcoin stocks 3x? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And of course, don't forget about ETH. Look at this. I mean, you don't have to go past page 30 in the technical analysis textbook, which I should keep on my desk. Okay. So ETH breaks out. ETH comes back down. Lovely. They try to wick ETH below the 200-day moving average to get all your crypto and run your stops, because that's what they do at Binance and all these exchanges. You know, they just lever everybody up and they stop everyone out. It's a big business. The premium zone in ETH is at 4,000. Now, I know that ETH is not as good as Solana, but ETH is changing the story. And what do they care about in the stock market? The story. So why is ETH down again? Oh, ETH can't rally. Okay, we're going to have a dollar devaluation, but ETH can't rally. Huh. Okay. Okay. Sure thing. Avalanche. Boring, right? This platinum research, we got two small layer ones. And when I talked about something else the computer spit out, about the 5 hot layer ones, right? Like, for example, just going to give one away. Does anybody remember this? SEI? Anybody remember this? This was the hot crypto in 2024. No interest, none. Got this nice alligator mouth thing going on. Nobody cares. But when AI agents start running stuff on fast layer ones, which we got 5 of them. We met Girl Bill mentioned it, and some guy was like, "Oh my God, tell me the 5 hot layer ones right now," which we did because he's a customer. And then we talked about other stuff. Like we didn't even talk about the 2 small cap layer ones. What is it that AI? I mean, if you listen to what Girl Bill said about Nvidia, you're going to say to yourself, why am I not invested in crypto AI again? Like what's that about? What's that about? Tell me, right? Tau, again, consolidating on the 200-day moving average. Request coming in for Aave. I can't wait to see what AI agents are going to do with Aave. Look at this, man. You know, the 200-day moving average, a distant memory. See ya, right? They take this level out. Well, first of all, look what happened when they broke out of the downward sloping wedge. I'm not going to give you the downward sloping wedge lecture again. Needless to say, when you break out of these things, it's like the market's artificially suppressed. It just goes boing. John Madden used to word the word doink. You know, doink just goes. Okay, you have Aave at 279. And if you take that out, you will officially invalidate the downtrend, because I think this was all panic selling. Curve. Can't stop loving it. Just can't stop loving Curve. Girl Bill was down with Curve a long time ago. And okay, you got a lot of insane volatility around this. You know, Orange Man comes in, Curve goes vertical. He doesn't do the strategic Bitcoin reserve. It all unwounds itself. Premium zoning Curve is at $1.33. And again, they break out of this stuff. See, that's the thing about all of crypto that people are not asking themselves. It's not breaking out, but they're not asking what is going to happen if it does. They're not asking that question. They're not asking why it's down. And they're not asking what happens when it breaks out. You know what happens when it breaks out? You get Metaplanet. Right? Seriously. Okay? All right. Somebody, I think, happy about the platinum area. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that you're happy. Sold my Bitcoin from buying at 25K with the research you published in 2023. Used it to buy freedom to spend time with my baby daughter and wife, coming for the tokens on those platinum reports. So you may wonder why I shout into this microphone all the time, sometimes 3 times a day. That is why. And not to mention, Girl Bill, also known as Toby, from the podcast and her basically new show, which exploded on the scene today because of technical problems in Studio B. Our customers are making money, man. They're making money. They're making money off her. They're making money off the GAN model. They're making money off macro. They're just making money, right? And frankly, if there was ever a time to FOMO in, I got to be honest, now would be the time to absolutely FOMO in. Sorry. I know that's a little bit shameless, but let's go with some, hey, you know what no one talks about? And even though I kind of gave up on this and I shouldn't have, okay, the graph. Oh, what is the symbol for the graph? How bad is it when you can't remember the symbols? Okay, the graph came up in the GAN work, GRT on Coinbase. When these, look at this thing. Oh my God. This is like a multi-coin capital play. Everything looks like this. This just looks better, right? It breaks out, it comes back, it sits there. And again, I've talked about this. The fact that you're getting dips means that people don't get it. Don't wait until there is no dips and you're asking me about a dip when there is no dip. I'm serious. This is the dip. This is the dip. See, again, you know, it's platinum research. I know. I still use paper. It's unbelievable. But I got to do something to keep it all straight. I think the other one that we were going to show people was ACash. That's the other free token. And we'll just see what it looks like when we pull up the live TA that we do all day and night for our members and Patreon people. So ACash, okay, we got the alligator mouth, and it gets down to the 38% retracement, and they do everyone a favor by running the stops. Okay, that's 1.6. And again, what happens if the 38% retracement holds? How much room do you have in this? I mean, can you even tell? Like, does whatever is going on now, does that even matter if all of this gets going? And again, we can't stop talking about, you know, I think Girl Bill looked at me today and said, I think the only other free one that we're doing is because I didn't have it in the GAN model. I didn't have it. Grass. AI for normies on Coinbase. I mean, I'm serious. I'm laughing because it's funny because you look at this market, right? We were doing Fetch and Tau last week. The AI agent DeFi coins, like I have 2 reports. There's 2 reports, right? And like I said, you know, if you're looking at this, you're like, why is Bill like why did the stream like not work? Like why is Bill so tired? Because I can't make this stuff fast enough with the combination of what Toby does and what the GAN model is cranking out. Like I can't get the research out. I can't get it out fast enough. Right? DeFi plus AI, trading to DeFi, agent bots, real world asset opportunities. Did you know there was real world assets and AI at the same time? Okay. They can't get tax cuts, by the way, they're going to give you money directly. The Fed can print money. They might as well give something to you. This, oh my God. I can't believe I forgot to talk about XRP. We have XRP and Monero. You're like, you know, Bill, that's kind of shameless, right? Single coin deep dive for AI, right? Solana on fire, 3 coins, right? And DeFi AI, like I said, it can't get enough. And then this. Okay, so XRP $60. Come off the screen share. Now, why wouldn't I take GAN numbers like $60, right? Like, why wouldn't I put that on YouTube? Because, you know, you could get on YouTube and say, XRP is going to $60. And everybody would just FOMO in to that video, right? But if you then look around and say, what's going on with this stablecoin business? What's going on with, you know, Ripple? Don't forget, that's a stablecoin company. What's happening with that? Well, I don't know, but XRP is sitting on its equilibrium, and XRP's premium zone is at 315. Why is XRP not at 315 again? Why? Why is it down? Does anybody remember? Oh, it's because the bond market, the stock market, the this market, the that market. You know, the geopolitical conflict, the 7th geopolitical conflict that doesn't happen. Orange Man says, you know what? We're not doing it. And I can't believe I got rid of the tweet, but supposedly Putin told the Orange Man that in Europe, they like her better than him. How much you want to bet the Orange Man puts her on a plane and she gets a deal done to end the conflict over there? How much you want to bet? You don't think she can do it? Hey, if we can have Girl Bill, we can have Girl Trump. And again, I didn't make up that title. That was from Toby herself. DeFi perp. Let's have more fun with DeFi, right? So head and shoulders bottom, you travel the distance of the range from the point of the breakout. And one thing you'll notice is that when it went up, it came up short of the breakout target. Before, of course, it had to correct and run in fear of the 200-day moving average. So what is going to happen in DeFi perp when they actually get to the target? Guess what? They're going to blow through the target. So this is an index of big DeFi coins from, like, you know, I don't know, prior cycles. You call it what you want. Chainlink, Aave, synthetics. What is going to happen when you start using AI with these companies? I don't know, man. All I know is that there's a guy who's been long DeFi, and Toby cannot get off DeFi. He just will not stop going. It's like staring into the camera, getting the message from the beyond. DeFi, 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 DeFi. Okay. So we are rocking. What are we rocking? By the way, we found the coin, which I'm keeping for the YouTube members. We found a coin in DeSci that Toby was like, yeah, we're getting some of this for our PA. Okay, so let's figure out what this is first. Is it an AI game? World builder? Metaverse? Guess who's talking about metaverse? Guess who's talking about metaverse? Girl Bill. Hey, folks, when you're in a metaverse, you're not going to be talking to your Facebook friends from high school. That's not going to be that kind of metaverse. Hey, Joe, what's going on? Oh, look, you're on vacation. No, wrong. You're going to be talking to an agent. How far away is that? I don't know. Somebody came in and bought this at 1 million market cap, right? I mean, AIntivirus is at 6 million market cap, and they really don't have that agent really rolling on YouTube telling the world what he thinks about certain things. I mean, they got it going on, but they haven't cranked it up. They can crank it up and up and up, and they got privacy with it. And whatever this is, you know what? Somebody wanted it. And this is a reminder. Now, I don't know what this is, and this is 1 million market caps. You have to be careful. But when you have these moonshot days, frequently in bull markets, the retest is not the next day. The retest is the same day. So whatever this is, they're after it. The first AI metaverse. Oh, my God. Synthetic derivatives powered by agents. Okay. followed by Patriot Caveman, Big Daddy Crypto, and 3 others you follow. 1 million market cap. You got to be in it to win it. Now, that is not investment advice, and that's not an endorsement of any one particular coin. But again, how crazy does this market get if, as we have hinted, and the chart is worth going over again, because now I have DeFi Perp for Steve on. I know where it is now, right? So look at altcoins green on the day. Look at this. Altcoins holding on support. Well, wait a minute. I thought the Japanese government bond market was going to nuke everything. No, bro. The Japanese government bond market, or whatever is going on in the bond market, is just another reason to buy crypto. You don't need me or Steve J or Eagle King or Girl Bill to tell you about that. That's obvious. What's not obvious is that what's going to happen in altcoins when Solana and XRP just, everybody puts on an astronaut suit and the moon is not the limit, to the moon and beyond. It's a great catchphrase from a guy I used to work for. Great. Terrific. Okay. When this thing turns around, like, for example, like just look at it. Just look at the candles. See what they're doing? Like, virtual. I'll get to that right now. They take it down, they bring it back. They take it down, they bring it back. They take it down, they bring it back. They take it down, hit the support, and they bring it back. And guess what? One day they won't be able to take it down anymore. Right? Like, these are the dips. Right? I can't sing like Girl Bill. Like, isn't there an 80s song? Like, these are the times. Something like that. This is it, people. This is it. It's like, you don't like our research? No problem. Get someone's research. Get going. Get after this thing. I don't even know what to say about something like virtuals, except for the fact that there's GAN research that says that if a market builds up energy by making a move, that energy doesn't go away. That energy comes back. I didn't even know that. I was like, wow, GAN said that? Or that's a GAN concept? So that means if antivirus got the 80 million, virtuals got the 5 billion, Arrow got the $2, I believe, I don't want to get rid of my antivirus chart, but if Ski Mask Dog, anybody remember this? If Ski Mask Dog, where did this go? Ski Mask Dog is at 85 million with a head and shoulders bottom. And where was Ski Mask Dog at the high? Ski Mask Dog is currently at 9 cents, and at the high, it was at 36 cents. And you can't even draw the head and shoulders bottom correctly. Most people can't see it. What's going to stop this when it gets going? Nothing. Nothing is going to stop this when it gets going. Because I can't even answer, and neither can you. Why is it down again? Why is it down? And why is it not rallying? Okay. Total crypto market cap, excluding the top 10. So top 10 cryptos, look at this. It's like beautiful. I mean, I don't want to make investment advice, but it doesn't get any easier than this. It doesn't. Like, look at these wicks. Down, back, down, back. You can't even see them because there's that, like, it's like giant ocean of LuxAlgo support. And, when you look at this, right, drawing it quickly, shoulder, head, shoulder, upside targets in altcoins outside the top 10. Distance of the breakout, distance of from the head to the shoulder, you travel that from the point of the breakout. So you almost got to the target. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. And that results in the correction. Oh, okay. I get it. That's okay. But again, okay, the altcoins outside the top 10 are worth 250 billion. Web3 outside the top 10 is worth 250 billion. You really think so, huh? And this includes, this could include virtuals. I don't exactly know what's in the top 10. We did all will retire today. What's in the top 10? Right? So Cardano, Doge, Solana, XRP, ETH, and Bitcoin. So everything outside of that, Chainlink, Avalanche, Hyperliquid, hello. Hedera, a made in America crypto. Bitcoin Cash, that's going to be normie Bitcoin when they all come storming into Coinbase. Toncoin, does anybody remember when that was hot? Hot. Polkadot, no use for that. Monero, hey. I'm like, hey, Toby, what coins do you want to put in the GAN model? She's like, Monero. I'm like, Monero? Why does anybody want Monero? Wait till you see what they're going to do with these stable coins. Wait till you read this report in the YouTube member area. XRP hyperbole, huh? I don't think so. Oh, wow. Pepe. Look, everybody. Aave. Tau. BitSensor. Near. Aptos. You might see these coins in some of our research. Right? And this is the large cap stuff, like the large earth stuff. There is a whole universe of like 25 million cap coins, 1 million market cap coins. Okay. I promised the Eagle King that I would be done at 6:55, and I will get Rose in right now for longtime reader and listener, Steve J. Oh my God, look at this. Fast layer 1, Rose. Steve wants to look at the 4-hour chart. I don't think you have to. Oh my God. Look at this. It's like the 4-hour charts version. Share the screen. Rose on a 4-hour chart, right? Breakout, come back down to support. Big, yeah. Huckleberry Native said, I have no idea what's happening. I have no idea why the market is down. If you don't know why the market is down, then it should be up. That's the market update for today. We will see you tomorrow.